and welcome to the Ishara's Reading Podcast, and I'm Ishara. Today is a very special day because we are starting the first ever episode of My Journey with Jesus, a special segment of my podcast that we are going to do. Today, we are with my church's priest, Father Brian. We are at St. Ignatius Loyola Catholic Church. Welcome, Father Brian.
Thank you for inviting me. It's great to be here. This is a very special day.
First episode, what is Lent to you? That is one of the biggest questions.
That's right. So we celebrate Jesus who died, but he rose from the dead again after 3 days. And so to celebrate this very special day of him rising from the dead, we have 40 days of basically a spiritual preparation where during that time we want to grow close to God, we want to love others, and we want to make things that we've made too important less important.
So sometimes in Lent, you can give up things that you like to do, but sometimes don't always draw you close to God, you're saying?
Yeah, so you give up things. So give an example. So there's a lot of good things, but sometimes we make good things too important. So sometimes people can make candy too important, where they like candy, but it's like, oh, I need more candy, or they just always want to have candy. And you're like, okay, candy can be okay, but don't make it too important, so you might give up candy for that. Some people make video games, or they play video games on their phone or there, and then they can't stop. And they're like, well, that's a time of like, okay, some people give up video games. Can I tell you a story?
What?
I was one time talking to a class, and they were fourth graders. And this was a time where, before we had phones, there used to be a thing called an iPod. You know what an iPod is? An iPod was just, it was like, before you could store music on your phone, it was like a device where you just put all your music. It's before you could put it on your phone. And I said, if there's, what do you think the Lord's asking you to give up for Lent? And I said, especially if something's really important to you. And this fourth grader said, not my iPod. Not my iPod, because she really loved iPod. Not my iPod. And I remember saying, like, if you ever say not my anything, not video games, not candy, not desserts, maybe that's the one thing for 40 days, which isn't forever.
It's not a very, if you think about it, it's not a very long time. I'm sure we can be patient.
That's right, be patient, and to start saying, I don't always have to have the things that I feel like having in the moment. That's where we practice the virtue of temperance and what we call self-control.
Yeah, self-control is something that you do need to have in mind. Because sometimes things are so nice that your brain releases the chemical dopamine. Warning to everyone watching, this is going to get into very much human biology, so warning to everyone. The brain releases a chemical called dopamine, but I'm just going to call it the feel-good chemical because that's what it does. It makes you feel good. Sometimes your brain releases too much dopamine to this one thing. So when you realize you like something a lot, and I mean like you want to do it every day in your life, for Lent, you could just take a step back from that thing.
That's a great explanation.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening to this episode of My Journey with Jesus with Father Brian. Bye-bye.
Thank you. God bless you all.